Okay, so what I'm looking to do is, here's my script. It's not very complex, but basically I'm getting some values off of this spreadsheet. Right now we're just going to look at, let me close a few things here. Off this spreadsheet here, Calc 2 tab. So I have some values here, and I did the formulas within the apps script because I was reading, and it looks like if you wanted to update automatically without having your spreadsheet being open, you have to have a trigger inside here, and you have to set the values within the trigger. So that's why I did it this way versus right in the spreadsheet, and everything works fine. So I have this formula, it sets D5, that's perfect. This one sets D4. This one is E4, and it's a maximum of those two. That works fine. This one's F4, and it's a E4 times 75%. So if you look at these, D4, E4, and F4, perfect. And then F5, it gets set as well. So that's not a problem. Everything's working perfectly. Where the problem is I cannot get this value correctly. So if I do, let's save this, let's run it, let's see what my log shows. I'm logging it right down here. I get this right here. And I know I'm not very good at this app script. This is all just trial and error here. I'm not an expert at this, but so I have some code wrong here. And it seems like anytime there's a formula in a cell and you're trying to retrieve it, it's not retrieving it correctly. So I used get display value. I was hoping it would just get the value, and it still doesn't get it. So what I'm doing is here, it gets inside this if statement and does the log, and then I can never get that value. And so my code down here is pretty simple, but it seems to be working, except I can never get inside this if statement because my trailing stop value is never populated correctly. It seems like current price does get populated, which current price is a formula as well, and that's what's weird. In fact, that's really weird now that I think about it. So current price, let me do something. That. Current price $2.92. That's right. And which is weird because current price does have a formula in it. So why does F4 never get populated? And is that because there's a range within here that it has to calculate first? Anytime it seems like it's just a single value or a single, no calculation or anything, it works. Now that doesn't hold true with this one because F5 does have a calculation, and it's displaying properly. So I don't know what I'm doing. I tried to get value here as well. That doesn't do anything differently. So that's what I'm trying to fix right now, is just to get this value set properly. Now, to be honest, I really don't even need to set the values within the spreadsheet if there's a way of doing this. All I'm trying to do is do these calculations and then send the email if it hits. I don't necessarily, probably not going to open the spreadsheet and look at these values. So if we can do everything within the script writer without setting values, we can do that as well. Now we do have to use the spreadsheet because there are some other calculations that are getting done in here, like the email address is right here, stock price before and after. There are a few things here. We're doing this, so this gets populated with a bunch of stocks, and then we have up to 20 tabs, we'll have 20 more tabs, and you can see that I'm getting A1 here. On tab 2 I'm getting probably A2, I think. Yeah, A2. So I still do have a, don't worry about anything on these other tabs, I've cleaned those up, but I still have to have the sheet and some calculations on here. But I don't necessarily need to, display these values. I guess it's helpful if I need to go reference it or whatever, but I'm just trying to get this to work, and that's where I'm having problems.